75% of teen girls with low self-esteem report engaging in negative activities like cutting, bullying, smoking, drinking, or having an eating disorder, according to a statistic provided by DoSomething.org. We were talking about self-esteem and its impact on our day-to-day life. Self-esteem is something we all struggle with in one way or another, and I am no different. From middle to high school, from middle school up until my first year of college, I personally have had a lot of struggles and a lot of grief in my life from my self-esteem. But one day this all changed for me, and I'd like to share some of that information with you guys and talk about why self-esteem is actually super important and why you should be taking your self-esteem seriously. I believe that with a high level of self-esteem, anybody can do anything they want in their life as long as they put enough work into it. The main points we're going to be covering today is what is self-esteem and why do humans have an inner voice about themselves? How is self-esteem linked to your decision making and the choices you make in your life? And lastly, how you can improve your self-esteem. So this brings us to our first point. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem is a person's sense of worth, inwardly and outwardly. Self-esteem is rather interesting in that humans are the only creatures, let alone the only animals in the world, that are conscious of themselves and of everything around them. In the sense that not only do your emotions reflect inwardly, but they also reflect outwardly on other people. And this is also true when people judge you and when you also judge yourself. For example, your dog does not care about what it thinks, like what others think of it, or how its appearance affects itself in an emotional way. Nor does it care about how long its hair is, how short or tall the dog may be, or even how bad their breath does smell. So why do humans? Humans are social creatures, and as such, we care a lot about what other people think of us. The same could be said about someone and their self-image, in the sense that it's the same type of thing of you looking inwardly as other people looking at you outwardly. Your physical body plays a very large factor in your self-esteem because it is something you and other people must see and work around in everyday life. According to Abraham Maslow, self-esteem is one of the basic human motivations. Maslow depicts that people need a sense of worth in their life for not only outside sources, but inwardly, for overall stability and a comfortable level of mental health. Excuse me. To give an example, when I was in high school, I struggled heavily with my weight. I was only a little overweight, but I still saw myself as somebody who was extremely fat, not worth anything because I wasn't attractive. But I was plagued by this with frequent episodes of depression because I never thought that I was good enough. This changed toward the end of my time in high school as my ex-girlfriend convinced me that I did in fact not, it didn't matter what I looked like physically, but what kind of person I am on the inside. And this really struck a chord with me, and it really made me think, as long as you have a positive mindset or a healthy attitude, it doesn't matter what people think or what people might think about you. And this led me to go on this sort of self-journey to boost my self-confidence and to make a change. And I think as long as you are willing to change and make change, that you will change and you will see change in your life. But you have to be open and willing to it. So, self-esteem and decision-making. Your self-esteem and the decisions you make are hand in hand. How good you feel about yourself can easily be determined in any given situation. For example, you buy a new shirt and you think you look fantastic in it. You think you just look like the best guy in town or the best girl in town. Therefore, you're going to wear that shirt or outfit, pants, whatever, the first moment you can. Oh, excuse me. Then, what if someone told you when you wore that shirt that you did not look good in it or it didn't suit you? Oh, excuse me. You probably wouldn't wear that shirt much anymore, if at all. I've personally had this happen to me a couple times, but I've overcame that, and I just wear whatever I want now because fashion is that's different. I have an example story of this of when I brought home this windbreaker I bought from I think it was J.C. Penney's, and I brought it home and I was super pumped about it. And I was like, "Mom, look at this!" And I'm so excited about it. And she was like, "Tim, that looks really ugly. Why did you buy that?" And I was just like, "Oh, is it?" And she was like, "Definitely." I was like, "Oh, well, I guess I won't wear it as much." And I actually never ended up wearing it. I turned it into Goodwill. This type of negative reinforcement is something that will absolutely stick with you if you let it. And most people do, and that is quite sad. Your self-esteem can be hurt by these kinds of small remarks, by things you can and can't control, and this will overall mold how you view yourself. If your self-esteem is low, it can be linked to things such as eating disorders, depression, and other similar mental illnesses. A high self-esteem leads to reinforcement that you have a high level of confidence in the decisions you make. This will lead to you not caring about what others think in your actions, appearance, and other things in your life because you have the confidence in yourself and that's all you need for yourself. This is something that is super important and I really hope you guys take to the heart. As long as you're comfortable with yourself, it shouldn't matter what other people say. Because at the end of the day, the only person you have to answer to is yourself. This idea of having confidence in your decisions and ideas will make your life better, and we're going to talk about that right now in Tips on Building Yourself Anew by How to Improve Your Self-Esteem. I followed this information that I'm going to share with you all in hopes that you can use it as well. This is things that have personally worked for me, and hopefully they will also work for you guys. So let's get started. The biggest thing I can say is to stop comparing yourself to other people. This is one of the main things that lowers people's self-esteems, and comparing yourself to others, like via social media especially, is a big thing. And it's one of the ways people's self-esteem are at their lowest in our digital age. You must realize everyone is at different stages in their life. Everybody has different things going on, and comparing yourself to another person isn't fair because they're not going through the exact same thing you're going through or things that you have gone through. It's not fair to bring yourself down like this. It's also not fair for the other person because you might express these feelings with them and they might feel upset because it's something they can't control and you're thinking this way. Another super useful tip I'd like to give is to exercise. Whether you are overweight, underweight, or you are at a perfectly healthy weight, I feel like everybody should absolutely 100% exercise every single day. Or at least on a regular basis schedule every week. Not only does this have positive health effects, but also your mental health, you will see a drastic increase as well. It makes you genuinely feel good because you know you're working on yourself, and working out, even though it does kind of suck during it, you do have that sense of I did good today. I worked. Excuse me. You do have a sense of like I worked today. You know, I worked on me. So it's always good. It always makes you feel good because no matter what, even if you had a crappy day at work, you know, having problems in your relationships, you can always say, at least this is a positive. I did something for me today that was good in both mind and body, so I highly suggest exercising. This also takes into account of eating healthy. What you eat is how you're going to feel. It's just a proven fact. If you eat like junk, you're going to feel like junk. If you eat really good, you're going to feel really good. You can always find foods that make you feel good and are healthy and taste pretty okay. A lot of healthy food isn't that great, but you got to think that you're helping yourself and you get over the taste. And sometimes you might be like, oh, this is pretty okay. So, to wrap things up. All right. To wrap things up, we've discussed what self-esteem is, how it is related to your decisions, and lastly, what you can do to improve on your self-esteem. I want you all to improve your self-esteem. I want you all to think about the words I've said today and to think, do I have a low self-esteem? Do I have a low sense of confidence in myself, my actions, my appearance, etc.? And how you can make positive steps in the right direction with some of the tips that I discussed today. I truly think you can definitely change your life for the better, because I personally have, and I hope you guys can take this advice to heart and try to improve yourselves. You can just, you alone decide how you want to live in this world and how you spend your time. Our time is extremely limited, and I hope that you take not one moment for granted, because you can decide your own life in this world. Have confidence in yourself and believe that you can, because I know you can, because I did, and I believe you can too. You can literally do anything you want, as long as you work hard and put your mind to it. When was the last time you did something for yourself? Thanks, guys.